Preparing live stream. Press CMD plus tilde to return to the meeting controls. The host has started broadcasting the meeting on YouTube.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? Welcome to the new moon in Leo. I'm Sarah from Divinelyyou. I'm just waiting for my computer to ensure that my sound is not going to overlap. It's always my biggest thing. So let's dive into this energy right now, because maybe you're noticing it, maybe you're not. If you're not, that's okay. I think we kind of all have to be in our own space with what's going on. And as I was like tuning in, like, what do people really need to hear right now? And trust and surrender kind of keeps coming up for me this year. And for those of you who do know, and for maybe some of you who don't know, I just made a move back from the Southwest, the desert Southwest in Arizona, back to the Midwest. So I'm back in Illinois, which is where I'm from. And I moved away from Illinois in 2019. So here I am back in Illinois. And I feel like it's important to share why, because if you knew me, if you know me, if you've been following me for a while, you can follow me on Instagram, Saradivinelyyou. You know that I loved Arizona, and I do, and I miss my dry heat. However, all points pointed back to going back home. And by that, I mean, like, I had multiple astrologers tell me just by looking at my chart that I needed to go back home. And I resisted. And finally I had to surrender to the fact that I needed to go back home. And so here I am, I'm back home. And it's been quite an adjustment. And I share my story because my story is surrendering and trusting that I'm taking action in alignment with my what's best for my soul, what's best for what may not be what my brain wants, my ego doesn't want it. But there is something to this energy that's occurring with the new moon and with a lot of other there's like three over the next few days, like three major transits occurring. We have the new moon, we have Jupiter stationing retrograde, meaning that it's going to pass back into Pisces. And then we have a huge event happening over the weekend and I've talked about Uranus and Taurus before, and Uranus being a disruptor. It's going to meet with Mars, which is kind of an activator, very masculine energy. It's going to meet with Mars, and it's going to meet with the North Node. The North Node is like future. So what I'm feeling is like, this is like a turning point for humanity as a whole. So you're going to notice things in your personal life. You're going to notice things going on the world stage. And you're also probably going to notice things with other people. Personally, I'm seeing people like making moves. Another friend of mine is moving to a whole different geographic region. You may notice breakups, lots of relationship stuff coming up, because we are shifting. We have been for the last, year and a half, 2 years, into a space where having the right people, your tribe, so to speak, needs to be in alignment. A lot of friendships dissipating, a lot of people just not feeling like talking to each other anymore, and not in a negative way, but just in they can't be with each other anymore. And it's okay, because we're moving into a space where we're going to need people who are supportive, who are willing to help and take care of each other, just because of like what we're moving into. Like, we don't know. Uranus is very uncertain. It's very pivot. It's very adaptable. It's going to trigger adaptations and things like that. And what I feel for like the rest of this decade, we're in 2022, we've got 8 years to go in this decade, 7.5, I suppose. And what I'm feeling is that we need to be around supportive communities because we're going to need people to help us out, right? Like it's obvious for someone like me, like I don't drive. Sometimes I can't read print. Sometimes I can't, navigate an area or whatever. But for maybe someone who's more independent or less interdependent, and they, tend to keep to themselves, this may be a trying time because you may find yourself in a situation where holding on to that need to be independent or that need to be doing everything yourself may actually like create an inner conflict with yourself because you don't have the support. So I feel like if you're one of those people who feels like they have to do everything themselves, do what you can to release that like that kind of energy and allow people to help you and support you. It's kind of like the yin and the yang, right? We need different people of different talents and skills to, there are things I can do and there are things where I got to call in a support person, right? Maybe you're not quite the handyman, so you have to call in a handyman. Maybe if you're somebody who doesn't like to cook, so you go to restaurants. Well, maybe you need to find people who know how to cook, because like any number of things are possible right now. And the more adaptable we can be, or the more we're willing to pivot in our lives, personally, professionally, and otherwise, I feel like the more steady this could be. I don't think it's going to be steady at all. I think it's going to be very upside down. But so my returning to the Midwest was an act of surrender and trust. It was okay. Like I could have kept forcing things to work out in Arizona, but really it was not. I was not able to find a place to live. I was not, collecting the tribe that I needed to be supported. And now here I am back in the Midwest, where literally like there is no public transit here. And so it's literally counting on other people. So unfortunately, it's a lot of big lessons I don't like to learn, because I'm also one of those independent souls. Like I like to be on my own. I like to do things myself. And that's not something that can be done here. Like I need to, contact people and ask for rides, or, can you pick up this item for me while you're at the store or whatever. Like it's simple, basic shit, but it's stuff that affects our daily lives. And so those are the things to kind of think about as we roll into these transits, is that we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, like I said, on the bigger stage, but we also don't know what's going to happen in our personal lives. Now, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like astrology is dark and light. And so it could be beautiful, magical things. Like I feel like it's going to be magical. I know it's going to be trying, and it's going to be testing, and it's going to like require us to, in many cases, grow up and learn and evolve. But it's also going to be very rewarding in the end to sort of move through these growth spurts and learnings and lessons that were being presented. And so I hope that makes some sense, but it definitely feels like interdependence and adaptability, pivoting, trusting your gut, like tapping into your solar plexus, your gut. And if you feel like something's not right, something probably isn't right. And it doesn't mean that, you have to take any action per se, but, maybe it's stopping something. I gave up coaching earlier this year because it was no longer feeling like it was returning, that back to that unrequited love. I drew that echo card the other day, and that unrequited love, like it wasn't giving me the returns. And so yeah, so I hope that's a little bit helpful. Let's pull a couple of cards. I got the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. Probably shouldn't put that right on that. Okay. I think it's going to be, I hesitate to say that it's going to be fun. Like, I don't know, I'm an Aquarius, and I I'm also somebody who never felt like I fit in to what was known as normal life, like 9 to 5 job, work until you retire. You only get X number of days for being sick or being on vacation. Like that shit never worked for me. It was not a lifestyle I was even interested in having. I always wanted to be different, and to kind of go at my own pace and all that. And so for me, like the last couple of years has been like, finally, we all got kind of forced to slow down and we all got forced to be disrupted. And for some people, that's really hard to be with or hard to digest. And so I would really encourage you to really take a look around and like be it, like acknowledge how you're using your time on this planet and how you are contributing is what's coming through, what I'm feeling like. Because we each have a contribution to this planet, to each other. And so, yeah, I feel like it's good. It feels like it's going to potentially upset people, but I feel like I said, as long as you are able to adapt and pivot and go with it and trust that God's got you, that the divine has you, that the universe has a plan for each of us to showcase our gifts and our talents that we were divinely put here to share with each other. So let's see what's in the Believe in Your Own Magic for today. I'm probably going to draw a couple cards from this deck just to kind of give y'all, I must have shuffled that upside down. That was awesome. Just to kind of give you some nuggets to chew on and all of that. And first we have the Escapist card, and this is come home to yourself. How appropriate for the Leo new moon, which is all about self-leadership, self-love, taking care of yourself, being with yourself. And, you know, really, I definitely have been experiencing this in my own world, is like taking the time to rest when I need to rest and honor myself when I feel like I need to like not connect with people and connect when I'm ready to connect. And, you know, this is escaping the world, but not in like a, you know, drinking or not in like a substance sort of way, but escaping and really tuning into yourself, your body, and what messages you're receiving from yourself and your body. Let's get another card just for funsies. Yeah, I really cannot probably stress enough or say it enough that last few years I have learned so much about myself and accepted so much about myself that I used to feel like I needed to fix. I thought I was broken. I thought I was a disaster. I really thought like I had so many people in my life who were like, you need to be less emotionally sensitive. You need to be less this and less that. And the thing is the more I study and learn about my astrology, my human design, the more I'm just like, no, actually, this is exactly how God wants me to be. And I think that there's a huge part of it that's like here to, you know, we're all here to learn and share something for each other. And I think there's a large part of me that's like, you know, here to share and show that I am who I am. I was created on purpose. And like it's almost like being super uncomfortable reading on camera, you know, I'm still not okay with that, but I feel like there's something important to share, that I use a magnifier to read the cards. Like it feels like there's something very valuable in doing that, in sharing that part of my humanity with whoever's watching my videos. We have the Princess card. You can be your own knight. Yeah, back to that Leo self-leadership. These are all coming back to that self-leadership and really tuning into who you are. I, you know, when I was coaching, I focused a lot on leadership and personal leadership and how to become like the leader of your life, the CEO of your life, right? It was really that important to me to be the leader in my own life and to really share that, that, you know, you don't need somebody to give you permission. You don't need somebody to tell you what to do, how to be, what to eat, you know, when you should sleep. You know, I run a very different routine than most people. You know, I do a lot of stuff in the middle of the night. It aligns with me to do it that way. And then there are days where I'm up all day and I'm fine. But I definitely feel like whatever, like you choosing to do a life that serves you versus forcing yourself, go back to that forcing. When we're forcing ourselves to do something that's not in alignment, it's exhausting. When you're trying to fix or repair something that's not in alignment, like you're literally trying to force something that's not supposed to be forced, right? I was trying to fix myself from being an emotional person. The reality is that I'm an emotional person, and that I take on the emotions from other people. And so practicing, you know, repelling other people's emotions has been some part of my journey, part of my growth, and really being aware of, you know, if I'm feeling a lot of emotion. And when I was prepping to leave Arizona, I had a lot of people like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I can't believe that you'd leave Arizona. And I can't believe this. And, you know, aren't you upset? Aren't you sad? And I started to feel that way. And then it occurred to me that I was like, no, actually, I'm not, because it's not working. And if it's not working, then it's my responsibility to surrender and to trust that, you know, the universe is going to move me in the right direction to go forward. And so, you know, there's a level of like personal leadership of like taking responsibility when I am taking on other people's emotions. And maybe you're that way too. If you're very empathic, you might be taking on other people's emotions and thinking that they're yours when they're not. Because are you really feeling that way? Do you really feel like you're making a bad decision? No, you might not feel like you're making a bad decision, but you're feeling like you're getting that from everyone else around you. So it may feel like you're making a bad decision, but you're like in your own gut, you're like, nope, this is actually the right thing to do right now. And I don't know where the universe is guiding me next. Right now, I'm here and I am intentionally fully present to being where I'm at right now in this time and space. And the last card that I'm going to pick today is the library. How funny, because I love to read. Take control of your own narrative. Oh gosh, that's a good one. The word narrative gets thrown around a lot these days. And the thing is are you following someone else's version of how it's supposed to go? Right? The key to happiness is like releasing how you thought it was supposed to go and letting it go the way that makes you freaking happy. Like what brings you joy? Like maybe you don't feel like you want to live there. Maybe you feel like you don't want to work there. Maybe that relationship is just tiring you out and you're done. This is where this energy coming up is going to be so pivotal, so unpredictable, because people are going to start making choices, because they're going to start going, I don't feel it anymore. I didn't feel coaching anymore. Wasn't feeling Arizona anymore. It served me. Coaching served me, but neither was working. And so I decided to create my own narrative. I am writing my own story and following how I feel is best for me to go. And I have to say that, like, a few things that I really appreciate about being back in this part of the country, and I'm in Southeast Illinois. A few things that I like about it is people grow vegetables here. So there are vegetables I haven't had to go to the grocery store and buy because I keep getting them from other people. I like the fact that people are willing to help each other out. That's part of the community here. I feel there's been just some miraculous things that have happened since I've been here that I'm just like, damn, when the shit hits the fan around here, this community steps up and helps each other out. They may not know each other, they may have heard of each other, but people really step up and help each other out. And so, and I've been learning a lot of family history. I recently went to the town where my great grandparents lived, and the person that I interacted with there knew my great grandparents, and so I was able to have like this really cool conversation about my great grandparents. And my great grandfather passed away when I was, I don't know, 10, I don't know, somewhere like that. My great grandmother passed away when I was in college. And so, but at that age and at that time, I wasn't too interested in their stories, as most kids aren't. But so to kind of learn about some of my family history was pretty fascinating. And so but as I relate to my family from this new version of me, like I see things from a different perspective. So write your own story, create your own life. Like if it's not working and you're feeling like you're forcing shit to work in your life and it's exhausting you and you feel like shit and you're stressed out a lot, like take the leap, take the opportunity to make the change. Because what's going to happen with these transits right now coming up is as you step into what is aligned for you and your soul, you're going to see doors open wide open for you. There's going to be, it's going to be good. It's just going to be like, oh shit, that person's moving across the country. Oh shit, they got divorced. Oh my gosh, those people don't talk anymore. Oh my gosh, I don't feel like talking to those people anymore. Like you just notice shit. And so it's going to be fun in a manner of speaking. And so I definitely send you a lot of love. I hope this was helpful. I'm really just feeling like this is going to be a very different kind of time than we're used to. And I personally am looking forward to it. But like I said, never felt like I fit in before. And now I'm feeling like, okay, now I understand what's going on in the world. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will pop back in. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do sun signs this next week or not. I'm just strongly feeling like everything's kind of collective right now. And so, but you can always, comment below if you're interested in hearing about something about a specific sun sign. I can answer some questions. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll tap into that and give you a little insight if you would like. So thank you so much for tuning in, and happy new moon in Leo. Do a little intention setting, heart-centered intention setting, and see where the roads lead. It may be someplace you completely did not expect, but it'll be so rewarding in the end that you're going to be grateful that you surrendered and trusted the divine. Sending you a lot of love. Happy new moon, and I'll talk to you soon.